Hey there, this is Tracy Beavers, your visibility and list growth strategist. And listen, if you really want to learn how to level up your life, you should be listening to the Time to Shine Today podcast with my really good friend, Scott Ferguson. Let's level up.
Time to Shine Today podcast, Varsity Squad. It is Scott Ferguson. And the people out there know that I absolutely love email marketing. I'm not big on social media, but I have an email list of about 176,000 subscribers that has helped me build and sustain. And I know that they can't shut me off, as long as I'm not spamming you guys that are out there. So I'm figured that I should bring on the utmost authority in it, and she's blessed us with a little bit longer of an episode. I'm going to tell you right now, but it's going to be worth it, especially if you want to build an email list, which everybody has an email, and that's how a lot of people communicate. So, you want to take some notes on this. I'm bringing aboard my good friend Tracy Beavers, and she's a coach that helps people level up their email list. And it's well worth it. I myself had pages and pages of notes, and I have a huge list that I'm going to use to implement on mine. So if you like it, smash the subscribe button or like button. My sponsors and affiliates absolutely love that. So without further ado, here's my really good friend, email list building extraordinaire, Tracy Beavers. Let's level up. Hey, Time to Shine Today podcast, Varsity Squad. Welcome back to another powerful edition of Time to Shine Today podcast with Coach Fergie. I'm your host, Scott Ferguson. Blessed to be your gap coach, specializing in performance mental conditioning, working with professional and amateur athletes, business leaders, entrepreneurs, entertainers, C-suite, and students to help them bridge their success gap to live a life of options and not obligations. On this platform, we are stoked to bring you high performers who are not just chasing and attaining success, but redefining it through providing above and beyond service. And squad, get ready to level all the way up. Today's guest is a powerhouse who's been lighting the entrepreneurial world on fire, and she is just getting started. She's the CEO and founder of Tracy Beavers Coaching, with a 20-year track record of helping entrepreneurs turn invisibility into undeniable authority. From CBS to Wall Street, even Vanity Fair Lingerie. Yes, she's that versatile. Her insights have made serious waves. She's a speaker, published author, and voice behind the top-ranked podcast, Create Online Business Success. If you're ready to ditch the overwhelm, embrace organic growth, and finally build a business that feels aligned and unstoppable, this is your episode, and we are going to dig in, I know, a lot into email marketing. All you people out there know that I am an email marketing junkie, and I have someone that finally has my back today, and we talk about it. So, Tracy, thank you so much for coming on. Please introduce yourself to the Time to Shine Today podcast, Varsity Squad. But first, what's your favorite color and why?
Oh, turquoise blue.
Okay, that's specific. Yep. In turquoise, why?
Ocean. I love the ocean.
Looking at it right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I saw that
thanks.
face, you're like, jerk.
Thanks, Scott. Appreciate it.
No, and it's in your color wheel. If you're watching on Vimeo or YouTube, she's absolutely stunning. And she also gets after it. So let's get to the origins, my friend, because it sounds like there's some corporate in there a little bit, or someone that maybe burnt that out, or let's hear it.
Burnt it way out.
Stage is yours. Let's hear it.
Oh my gosh. So I'm old enough. I think you and I are around the same age. I'm old enough that generationally coming up, I was raised to, you go to high school, you graduate, you go to college, you graduate, you get the job, any job, you're thankful for the job, and you're going to stay in that job for 40 years, because then what's going to happen is you're going to get a pension, a gold watch, a retirement cake, and a party.
Absolutely. Perfect life.
Right. That did not happen. So around 2005 is when in the world I started hearing things like downsizing, right sizing, severance packages. And I was like, what is going on? Nobody told me this was going to happen. And so that was my first taste of the fact that corporate's not as stable as it looks, and companies were no longer being loyal to their employees. And so fast forward through a few toxic bosses, some job descriptions that just didn't feel quite right. The final straw for me, and you are going to die when I tell you this story because you're a salesperson. So I had an over 20-year award-winning sales career. And I always knew that I did not have any control over my time because it's corporate. It's 8 to 5. You get so much PTO. You just don't get control over that. But I thought had control over my money. As a mortgage loan officer, 100% eat what you kill. As a title insurance executive doing business development and marketing for and growing market share for a title insurance company, I had commission structure. So I thought I can make as much money as I want.
Right.
Uh-huh. Until about 7 years ago, when the CEO I was working for clearly did not know how to motivate a sales force. I grew his market share 86% the first year I was there.
Wow.
We were on track to grow it another 42% the second year I was there. And he actually had the nerve to tell me he didn't think I was going to be that successful.
Mm.
And he thought I was making too much money. And he was going to change the commission structure in a way that was completely ambiguous in the way it was written. And he had no idea that I had a background in contracts. And so I read this thing and I'm like, mm-mm. And I thought, wow, I don't even have control over my money.
Right.
What the hell am I doing?
Right. Yep.
But then my second thought was, okay, my dad was an entrepreneur. He's an architect, self-employed my entire life, made it look like a total grind, not glamorous. And so I thought, okay, well, Tracy, if this isn't the right fit for you, what the heck is?
Right.
The alternative is to go to work for yourself. And I was like, oh, I don't know about that. So, so I did a lot of soul searching and a lot of thinking, and just through a women's mastermind I was in, my really good friends helped me see that and remind me, I just thought everybody was good in sales because I was good at it and it came easy to me. And I thought, why is everybody coming to me asking me, how are you gaining market share? How are you growing these portfolios? How is this happening for you so easily? And they're like, that's your key. You need to help people build their businesses and convert more sales.
Mm.
And they said, and I'm in Arkansas, we're slow on the trend. And they said, you need to be a business coach. And I was like, that's a thing? And
Wow.
they were like, yes, that's a thing. And so I did some research and I started building this business I have now alongside that corporate job. Two kids that at the time were in middle school and high school. They played every sport that had a ball. We were busy, but I did it.
Right.
And about a year and a half later, I was able to exit and I haven't looked back.
Nice. How long ago was that again, Tracy?
So 7 years ago.
Exited. Okay.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
7 years ago was when I had the epiphany.
Mm-hmm.
And I did not start the online coaching immediately. What I did was I went with a network marketing company as an entrepreneurial exploration. But through that experience, I realized the part about that was that I loved the most wasn't the company or the products or the whatever. It was helping people build their businesses.
Yeah.
And so that's when I started out on my own. And then like a year and a half after that. So I think I've been out on my own now going on 5 or 6 years. I can't remember exactly.
Okay.
But yeah.
Very good. What did the family think about it? I know John's a rock star and he's your corporate guy. He loves what he does. He loves you. He loves the family. But what do you think about you kind of stepping out into from I'm saying this in quotes, a secure role into like having your own gig, hanging your own shingle?
Yeah, he was more in favor of the business and sales coaching, me building that, than he was not a fan of the network marketing thing.
Gotcha.
Which I understand. And I really wasn't either, but I had to get my feet wet somewhere and try something. And so he is not a risk taker. And I am a little more of a risk taker than he is, but still not like, I'm not going to jump off a perfectly good airplane. You know what I mean? With a parachute on my back.
Sure.
And I knew that I did not want the stress of quitting the over 6-figure income I had to go cold turkey and make no money.
Right.
And I didn't feel good about that. And I knew he would have been like, have you lost your mind? Because we've got these kids that are doing cars and prom and college and
right.
And he also, we have worked very hard to get to where about 7 years from now, our retirement will be fully funded.
Okay. Love
and
it.
So he just said, what? I don't want to, he said, here's the thing. You're totally okay building this, but I really don't want this to consume you 24/7. And he knows me. He knows I would allow it to. So I had to commit to not letting it overtake our life. I had to commit to keeping our retirement on track, the money that I was putting into the retirement every month. And I also said to him, and I will be able to pay all the bills that I've committed to for our family.
Right.
And so in other words, life should not be too disrupted financially.
Right.
You might not get as much of my time. I might need to work on Monday night for 2 hours, Wednesday night for 2 hours, Saturday morning.
Absolutely.
But I want to try it. And he said, okay, cool.
Right.
And so that's how we worked it out. And it felt really good to me. And then I immediately looked at the bills that I pay for the house and I cut the fat out of everything. That was my stuff that was fatty. Now the kids, I didn't want them to have to obviously sacrifice too much.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
But so that way I knew my enough number.
Okay.
What money do I need to bring in this coaching thing to keep my end of the bargain, keep our retirement going, keep the lights on, keep the kids in shoes, all that kind of
Love
stuff.
that you put that up front where like the priority is the family. And then you build that harmony around it. Like a lot of people
Mhm.
want balance. Balance is junk. You know what I'm
Balance is
saying?
a myth.
Right? Like, and it's funny. Tracy, I have my clients and they're like, I just want balance. I'm like, what you want is balance within harmony. Because
Yes,
like you
right.
say a jazz band, like my Susan and I, we love jazz. And
Yeah.
we say the drums is like your God is spiritual, the horns are your personal growth, family might be the piano, community work and so on are different
Mhm.
instruments. If one of them's out of tune, it
Yeah,
sounds like junk, right?
right.
But
Right.
if you just get in there and provide balance within that, then you're
Yeah.
back to harmony. You don't have to be Eddie Van Halen or Beethoven or anything. Just you work together. I love that you guys put that
Yeah.
together and found the harmony. Love
Thanks.
it. So
Thanks.
what then kind of led, like, because a lot of people I know are tuning in because I've
Mhm.
put this out there a lot about email marketing myths busted and stuff like that.
Yeah.
What brought you really into, helping people build their email list, and what is specifically the advantages of an email list? And I see you
Oh,
smiling because you and we believe
yeah.
in this, right?
Oh, I could talk about this all day long.
Right.
Your audience is going to be like, why did you ask her that question?
Right.
So when I started out, I just wanted to get going. And so I was just a general business and sales coach. Here I am, hire me. And I started locally in my market where people knew me, they knew my track record. And so I was helping local businesses grow. Then it started to evolve in the online space, global clients, creating my group coaching program, my courses, all that stuff that's in the online space. And over and over and over again, I kept hearing, I don't have as many leads coming in as I need.
Sure.
I don't have any repeat clients. I'm not getting as many referrals. And the other one in the online space was I built this awesome course and I went to sell it and had nobody to sell it to.
Right. Right.
And so the mistake that people make is they get so excited about the offer they're going to put out there and making the money that they forget
Right.
that they need an audience of people that's going to buy it.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
like, yes, you created this awesome thing and that's wonderful, but now we've got to go back. You put the cart before the horse. Now we got to go back and get the horse,
Love it. Yes.
which is the
Yep.
email list growth and the visibility online
Right.
and the DM conversations that actually convert people into buyers.
Right.
All of that is foundational. And if we don't have that in place, we're screwed. You're just not going to have a sustainable business.
Right. Well, why an email list?
So an email list in this, because you teach this, you and I are like peanut butter and jelly on this. So the email list is one of the only things we own as business owners. Social media could disappear. TikTok is a prime example. Is it here? Is it not? I don't know. I don't care. I just pray that all the people on TikTok that might be listening, that are making a gazillion dollars on TikTok, build yourself an email list, please.
Mhm.
Like start today. Facebook, don't own that. Instagram, LinkedIn, Threads, Snapchat, whatever it is, we don't own it.
Right.
But if I can get people offline attracted to my content with attraction marketing, which is what I teach, I'm sure you do too, that pull marketing strategy, pulling them to me into my email list, then I can actually have a relationship and a conversation with them. Because for me, when you land in my inbox, I feel like you're standing in my living room.
Right. Yep.
When I land in your inbox, I want you to feel like I'm in your kitchen and we're going to sit down and have a cup of coffee and we're going to build a
Thank you.
relationship.
I have to jump in real quick. Squad,
Sure.
if you're listening, I don't teach this. She does. Okay. So she said that. I would love, because I push it, email marketing.
Yes.
What she said, that all those different companies, social companies, can turn you off if they don't like what you're putting out. Okay.
Yes.
Or if the government doesn't like a certain TikTok or something like that, they can shut them down. And I've had
Right.
some friends that were pooping their pants when they
Yeah.
shut down TikTok for a day. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
For
But
sure.
like my friend Tracy said, Squad, if you have an email list, they can't take away from you. Obviously, we can't spam, right? Right, Tracy? We
Correct.
don't want to do
Oh,
that.
correct. Right.
But let's again, I just wanted to set it straight. I want people to call you, not me,
Yeah.
about this, about the coaching.
Sorry about that.
Because I know you have an 8-week awesome course that we're going to talk about in a little bit, and also
Right.
do one-on-one coaching. But
Yes.
let's go a little bit more deeper, because I'm really excited. Like, is there a
Mhm.
service provider that you prefer over others? Email
That's a
service?
great question. There are some really good ones out there. Now, I personally use Kajabi, and I
Okay.
have
Yeah,
since I
absolutely.
started
Sure.
because tech is not my love language,
Mhm.
and I wanted an all-in-one. I did not want to have to do a WordPress and a Zap to make it talk to ConvertKit to make it talk to whatever. I'm just like, no, that
Right,
made my
right.
head spin.
That's me.
But
I
there's
use
some,
Kit. So it's like
right.
my team has got to do that. Anyways, go ahead.
Right, right,
Right.
right. So I was visiting with a girlfriend of mine last week who owns a boutique hotel here in town.
Mm,
And she has the emails of all the people that have bought from her, but she
brilliant.
wasn't doing anything with them. And I'm like, oh, we need to change this because you want those people remembering you
Mm,
and staying. You want to stay top of mind. You want them referring their friends. You want them to come back.
sure.
And so she's like, well, what do you recommend? Well, MailerLite is a great one.
Mhm. Oh yeah,
ConvertKit
absolutely.
or
Yeah.
called Kit,
I
that's a
use
great one.
Kit. That's our
Yeah.
jam. Yeah.
hmm Flowdesk is a great one.
Yes.
Yep. So there's some really good ones out there.
Okay.
The important thing is you want something that is easy for you to use because
Right.
otherwise you're not going to use it.
Right.
And you want it to be affordable for you.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You also want it to have some tagging and some segmentation so that you
Yes.
can track who's gotten what, when, and where,
I'm
and
plotting
why.
right there.
And that
Segmentation's
way,
huge.
yeah,
Yes.
because that way you'll know how warm that lead is. If I look
Mhm.
at your name in my Kajabi system and I see that you've downloaded every free lead magnet I've got and you've attended 2 of my live master classes,
Mhm.
okay, well, he's a fan. I could
Yes.
probably more easily convert you into a buyer than I can somebody who just joined my list and doesn't know anything.
Yes. Yes. And Squad, another thing with emails is people like, oh, email marketing, no one communicates with email anymore, but they do. And the one thing is, name one thing that you signed up for in the past 11, 12, 15 years that you
hmm
did not use your email. Name one
Right,
thing. I challenge anybody. You
right.
will use your email, and that's where people get their information. And my good
Yes.
friend Tracy here puts out valid information. I have to ask you, you've
hmm
helped hundreds grow their visibility, right? And maybe even
Yes.
thousands by now. But what's the
Right.
biggest myth that you see entrepreneurs believe about organic marketing? Because I know you and I are big tree huggers. We're organic with our marketing, right? We
Right.
don't go and like we talked a little bit about buying traffic
Mhm.
through reputable solo ad providers, but like actually organic. What do you think the biggest myth is
Yeah.
out there?
I think the biggest myth is that it's slow and it doesn't work
Hmm.
and that people are
Go
just going to be
deeper,
wasting their
please.
time.
Keep going, please.
Well, we all want everything now.
Yep.
Instant gratification. That's why we microwave our food instead of warming it up on the stove because
Right.
nobody wants to wait for anything.
Hmm.
We don't want to wait 6 months to lose 20 pounds.
Mm.
We just are looking for that fast stuff.
Okay.
And one of the mistakes that I see people making is with paid ads.
Mm.
And my story with paid ads, I think I've run paid ads twice in my years,
Mhm.
hired experts to help me with them,
Of course.
wasted probably about $10,000 all total.
Right. Right.
And so that's one of the reasons why I have the program that I have right now, because paid ads were a fail. And everybody else that was teaching list growth was telling me to create another free lead magnet and put it out on social media.
Mm.
And I was like, okay, I did that.
Right.
But I think with organic, it is slow at first.
Good.
It is. I'm not going to
Good.
lie. It is, but it's also
Yes.
free.
Yes, it is.
So let's exhaust all the free strategies. Because in my program, I have over 10 strategies that I teach. When they are layered in the proper order,
Mhm.
what ends up happening is all of the gaps and leaks that you have in your visibility are plugged, which makes your business stronger, which creates what I call a marketing machine for you that
Wow.
begins to turn on its own, where the list growth and the leads come in automatically every day without you having to think, okay, I need to go spend 5 hours growing my email list.
Right.
My email list grows every day by
Yeah.
hundreds of people every single month.
Yeah.
And people ask me, they're like, well, how much time do you spend on list growth? I'm like, I don't.
Right.
I focus on my strategies. I focus on executing, being consistent, being patient. That business growth is going to blow wide open, but you
Wow.
have to give it time.
Yeah.
And this from being in sales, what we put in right now is going to come to fruition in 90 to 120 days.
Compounds. Yeah.
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 But we've got to do like whatever you start to do right now, whether you do nothing
Right.
or you start to grow your business,
Yeah.
you're going to see the results of it 90 to 120 days.
Thank
But
you.
the problem is nobody wants to wait for that.
Exactly. Yeah. We're in that, like you said, that fast society where we like I'm a big believer in inch by inch it's a cinch, right? By the yard
Yes.
it's hard, right? And
Yes, for
everybody
sure.
wants that now. But the slow grow is where the riches is, right?
Yes.
Because you'll have more of I'm not using this in a bad way, but an intimate relationship
Yes.
with your subscribers. Because again, I'm blessed to have 176,000 plus subscribers that
Nice.
are in different segments of stuff. So I know that if I'm blessed to have this room over here with just a bunch of swag that companies send me. right, to put out to my email list. If I like, I
Yeah.
do the product review, blah, blah, blah. But I also like I have a mountain bike sitting here that's about $5,000 that they just sent
Nice.
me. And I don't ride, I ride a mountain bike on the street. But I took it
Right.
to
Me
a
too.
trail over here, and the
Yeah.
guy's like, dude, that bike's not even out yet. Like, I'm like, we want to ride it and wear this GoPro. So I had him do
Nice.
that, put it out to my list, to
Nice.
the people that are more health oriented, segment it, like what you said.
Exactly.
And then I did a 48-hour, they allowed me to sell the bike for $2,200, right,
Nice.
for 48 hours. Built
Uh-huh.
the email to say I have a countdown timer on it. And it was like, if you didn't do it, you didn't get it.
Yeah.
But they ended up paying me $495 a bike. And I
Nice.
ended up selling, I think, 16 or 17 bikes.
I love it.
Right. So that's where it's at. But I just didn't go get a list and say start selling. I had to
Right.
build a relationship with my list. So let's talk about that.
Mhm.
Is there any
Yeah.
techniques that I'm sure it's part of that 8-step or 10-step program that you have with
Mhm.
regards to, but like building relationship with your list? I know people do want to
Mhm.
hear about this.
Yeah, for sure. So there's some really fun ways to get people to reply to us when we send out an email. And you have to be creative about it. But that's one of the ways that I end up building a list, building a relationship with my subscribers
Mm.
is when I put out an email, I try to get a reply back in a fun way. It also helps with email deliverability to keep you out of the spam folder. Prove to the email delivery gods that your stuff isn't spam.
Sure.
So that's a great way to build a relationship with them. But also one of the strategies that I teach, I love Facebook. Love it or not, it is the number one platform.
Oh
There
yeah.
is money to be made on that
Leverage it,
platform.
baby. Yeah,
Lots of
absolutely.
money. I have a free Facebook group. We have
Okay.
over 3,800 online entrepreneurs.
Love it.
When somebody comes to join my group, and they want to join my group because of the way the community that it is, it's a great
Okay.
community.
Okay.
But they come to join my group, they have to answer the membership entry questions, and they want to give me their email address. By the way, I have them written. So then they become a subscriber, right? Where I can have a relationship with them replying back in my inbox.
Mhm.
But also, everybody that joins my free group, they get a welcome DM from me.
Mm.
And that helps build the relationship and the connection.
The welcome DM, is it from you?
Yes.
I mean, is it individualized, or is it kind of like so if I was to join the group, like, hey, Scott, thank you for coming on board and stuff like that. Okay. I love that.
Yeah,
I
for
love that
sure.
you take the time. Like John Lee
Mhm.
Dumas, I don't know if you know him. He's Entrepreneurs on
Yeah.
Fire. He's
Yeah.
got a top 0.5% podcast.
Right.
I joined his list. And when I got into podcasting in 19, I
Uh-huh.
joined the Podcasters Paradise, and that dude called me on a Saturday.
Nice.
Right. And he's like, Scott, I'm sorry I missed you. If you can call me back today, great. We can rap a little bit. But like, I just want to call
Yeah.
and say welcome. I mean,
Yeah.
dude, that blew
Yeah.
me the frick away.
Right?
There's intimacy with that. That's people love that. So
There
it's
is.
personability. So
It
with
is.
that's beautiful.
Yeah,
So
people
okay.
get so tickled. This one gal emailed me. It was a reply back situation. She replied back
Mhm.
to get the thing that I was offering, and I replied back to her, and she replied back immediately. She goes, "Oh my God, is this really you emailing me?" And I was like, "Yes." I'm like, "Who else would it be?" And then in the DMs too, people are like, "Is this a bot?" And I'm like,
Is
"Nope."
this a bot? I love
Yeah,
it.
and so
Yeah,
then I'll end
I
up
would. I ain't gonna lie to you. You know
no,
what
because
I'm saying?
I've got a little bit of the message that I send that's the same for everybody, the
Mhm.
welcome part and
Sure.
the social media guide is on its
Yeah.
way to your inbox part.
Right,
But
right.
what I'm going to say to you is, hey, Scott, I'm so excited that you joined my free group. That podcast interview today, outstanding. Absolutely love it. Can't wait for that episode to
Yeah.
drop. Then I'm going to give you the message, and then you're going to know it's me.
Love it. I
Or I'll
love it.
send you an audio and I'll
I
go,
was just gonna
hey,
ask you,
really
you're
me.
stealing my questions, woman. So like I was gonna be like, do you ever do audios? Because I do audios now. That's
Oh,
something
yeah.
I picked up from JLD. I was like, dude, someone joins my list. I
Yeah.
will do a quick audio. And I do kind of my team, I'm blessed to have a team, and they will search
Mhm.
out if they're on LinkedIn, get
Yeah.
connected, and I'll do an audio. Be like, hey, Tracy,
Yeah.
thank you so much for joining.
For
I
sure.
can't wait to see what I can help you solve, a challenge
sure.
that I can build through. And I do like you, I have a scripted thing that I use,
Yeah.
but sometimes I go off script and people are like, dude, you're crazy. But
Yeah. And you can
okay.
also do a short Loom. Like one of my follow-up strategies,
Keep going.
what
Yep,
makes me
yep,
so successful in
yep.
sales is my follow-up strategy. Because I'm going to follow up with you until you either tell me to get the hell off your lawn or one of us dies.
I love it.
You're going to stay on my list.
Yeah.
And so at launch, when somebody comes to my live masterclass and they've indicated by the questions I ask in that they're interested in the program or they need help,
Sure.
I'm going to go to Loom, create a less than 2-minute Loom. Hey, Scott, so excited you were in my live masterclass today. You mentioned needing help with X, Y, and Z. That's exactly my jam. That's
Love it.
exactly what I do. Would you like to
Yeah.
hop on a 15-minute call and
Yeah.
talk about it?
Love this. Yeah.
I'm going to pop that into your
Yeah.
DMs and I'm going to email it to you.
Right.
And I did that. Now, listen, the last time I did that, I did 103 of those.
Mm-hmm.
It took me 8 hours, but here's what resulted $15,000 extra in that launch.
In 8 hours?
In 8
oh
hours.
Gosh, twist my arm.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I love
it's that personal touch. It's like when somebody sends you a handwritten card in the mail. How special that feels.
Oh my, dude, you and I'm 53. So the way that you
I'm
said
55.
that, okay, so you're 55. We
Yeah.
look good. Sorry, squad, but no. But so I remember in the late 90s, early 2000s, it was so cool to hear you've got mail.
Yeah.
Right now, I'd give anything to go to my mailbox.
Yes.
And open it up and get a letter from somebody.
Yes.
Right? Exactly. I mean, is that not the freaking truth? Like, it's funny. It's part of my networking that I do teach networking, by the way. But when I meet somebody, my biggest compliment I can get is for me to turn around, walk away, and them go, what does that guy do? Because I know everything about you. Like, I use Ford, family, occupation, recreation, and dreams, right? If I know those 4 things, I can know everything, get your business card, and I literally go to my car. And if you're ever in South Florida, I have thank you notes in there. I write them out, stamp it, and then me being in the real estate business, I can usually find where they live.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes, you can.
Mail it, right?
Yep.
So the people are like, dude, and then it'd be like, hey, Tracy, great to meet you. Yep. I heard you mention a few challenges that was stuff. I think I know some people that can help. If you ever want to do a coffee or a quick call, please let me know. Nothing like I want to coach you or anything like that. I want to solve a problem. That's what you're doing, right? You're solving a problem with your stuff, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Gotcha.
When I meet somebody, so take the sale out of the equation. Don't even think about the income, the transaction, none of it. Right. You are a warm, kind human being that is meeting another warm, kind human being for a conversation to see where it could go. That person could want to buy what you're selling, or they might know somebody that needs to buy what you're selling. So they could be a referral partner. Right. They could end up wanting to sell what you're selling and be an affiliate. Or they could end up being a collaboration partner like you and I are.
Right.
And so even though you're not buying what I'm selling.
I'm going to be an affiliate of yours for sure. So don't even worry about that. I got you, girl.
I love it. Yeah. I mean, even though you and I aren't selling each other anything, right? This collaboration is powerful.
Huge.
Because I'm going to be in front of your audience. You're going to be in front of mine because I'm going to share the episode. Right. And we're both going to grow from it, which leads to more connections, which leads to more connections and more connections.
Love that. So we got to move along a little bit here, just for time constraints. I'm going to go longer, squad, because I know you're getting some good stuff. Because I get hit up all the time about my email list, so I know you're still listening. But so Tracy, have you seen the movie Back to the Future?
Oh, hasn't everybody?
It literally turned 40 years old last week.
I know.
We're recording this in May. It turned 40 years old in April 24th or something.
That's how old we are.
Right. So let's get in that DeLorean with Marty McFly. Let's go back to the Double Deuce, the 22-year-old.
Yeah.
Okay. The 22-year-old Tracy. I don't know if it is Beavers yet, but 22-year-old Tracy. And what kind of knowledge nuggets might you drop on her? Not to change anything, because you have beautiful children, awesome husband and John, like everything, but maybe to help her shorten a learning curve a little bit. What might you drop?
Yeah. Gosh, I think I would say to her, don't worry so much. Okay. Don't be so hard on yourself.
Yeah.
And just because you see somebody's highlight reel on social media doesn't mean their life is any better than yours.
I love it. That's beautiful. How do you want your dash remembered? The little line in between your incarnation date and your expiration date, your life date and death date. Hopefully it's way down the line, right? But how does Tracy want her dash remembered?
I want to be remembered as somebody that made people feel really good when they were with me.
Love it.
My husband's nickname for me is Sunshine.
Love it.
And
genuinely good. You're not blowing fluff up people, right? I felt good. Like our rapping, we probably talked longer than we should have before we started recording, but we have so much in common. It's just I felt like I'm talking to an old friend, and not even lying. It was like that from the jump when I met you, right? Well, that's awesome. I'm
Thanks.
I can see you doing that, but I also can kind of see you sliding across home plate, bumped and bruised, but knowing that you left a great message. Right.
Yeah,
and those are the people I want to collaborate with. Right.
Me too.
So what is Tracy's definition of a life well lived?
Oh, what? I used to think it was money.
Always.
'Cause
Generation Xers, that was the thing. We were around, we were kids when there were yuppies.
yeah,
Right. So it
for
was like
sure.
the 80s, a decade to decade. And so we saw that. We're like, this is it, right? It's like,
Right.
yeah, yeah.
Exactly. But as I've matured, when I first started this business, I wanted to be the next big name. I wanted to make 20 gazillion dollars a year and all the things that you see.
Right.
And a few years in, I was like, you know what? And I was talking to my husband. I said, honey, I don't think I want to be a millionaire anymore. And he goes, we don't need to be a millionaire.
Yeah.
We're good.
Right.
And so for me, it is making the income that allows us to retire at a good age where I can hopefully have some grandkids by then and take care of them.
Right.
Have time. Yeah. Get on it.
it.
Have time for our moms but we lost both of our dads in the past 2 years.
Okay.
My mom is doing great, but like yesterday, I went to go vote and I was going to the library to do it. And she said, "Oh, can I come with you?" And I'm like, "Okay." I thought, "I just want to go with me to vote, but whatever." But she had books to return and all this other stuff.
Oh, nice.
And that's what it is. I was able to step away from the business.
Yeah.
I would not have been able to do that in corporate.
Yep.
And so I want to make enough money for us to have some fun, travel, do some house room, not have to really worry.
Yeah.
But I don't need a big freaking house.
Right.
And I still drive a 2011 Honda Accord, and that'll probably be my last car.
Yeah.
I mean,
feel
why buy another one?
I'm in South Florida where it's freaking Vanity Fair Central stuff, right? And it's like people laugh at me. I'm a blue collar guy from Detroit.
Yeah,
I don't need much. But when Susan and I travel, we go first class. We eat out. We eat out nice. And I call it, and I even said at the beginning of our interview, is our credo and our definition of success or life well lived is living a life of options and not obligations.
Yeah. Yes.
Right? If we can do that, right? That's a life well lived. Now, if you have a couple million in the bank, great. If you don't, great. But as long as you're able to do that.
Yeah.
Right. And that's just phenomenal. Time to Shine Today podcast Varsity Squad. We are back. And Tracy, because we're email marketing, I'm sure we're going to be talking again. And like, if we ever meet ever in person, we'll probably talk about a few of these questions at length. But today, you have 5 seconds with no explanations. And I promise you they can all be answered that way. You ready to level up?
Sure.
Here we go. Sure. Come on. You got this. All right. Tracy, what is the best leveling up advice you've ever received?
Patience and consistency.
Love it. Share one of your personal habits that contributes to your success. Patience and consistency.
Yeah, that. Exercising out in the sunshine.
Love it. So you see me kind of maybe walking down the street or at networking event or just somewhere you're like, Fergie looks like he's in his doldrums a little bit. He needs a book to level him up. Is there any book that you read that really did a mind shift for you?
Oh, I love Jen Sincero's books. You're a badass. You're a badass at making money.
You're that, Jen?
I love him so much.
A few times.
Oh my God, tell her I said hi. Please tell her I said hello.
I'll make the introduction. I have no
She's
problem with that.
hilarious, and she has a way of just. Yeah.
I'm not going to go any further with some of our fun times and speaking and stuff like that. She is what she is in the book.
I love that.
Right, Jen? Love you guys. Love it. Most commonly used emoji when you text.
Oh, the yellow heart.
Love it. Nicknames growing up?
I had girlfriends that called me Blue because my eyes are blue.
Okay.
Racy Train was another one. Remember that? Is that Pig Latin where you take the words and mix them up? I don't know. Because my name was Tracy Lane. It was Tracy Lane. And so they called me Racy Train.
You millennials and everything, you're not going to get it. Yes, that's awesome.
Go Google it.
Oh my gosh, that's beautiful. Any hidden talent and or superpower that you have that nobody knows about until now?
I played the oboe for 6 years.
Nice. Good deal. Chess, checkers, or Monopoly?
Oh, wait. Chess?
Checkers.
Definitely not chess. Checkers.
Me too. Headline for your life.
Oh, wow. She made a difference and she was a blessing.
I like just wow. Leave it at that.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Period.
Go to ice cream flavor.
Oh, chocolate chip.
Love it. So let's build a sandwich and call it the Blue Racy Tray. What was your pig line? Anyways, the Blue Racy. Yeah. Build that sandwich. What are we eating?
Oh, okay. It's my favorite sandwich at one of our local breweries. It's got pastrami, turkey, ham, mustard, lettuce, pickles, and it's on toasted ciabatta bread.
Dude, we're besties for the rest of you, man. That is awesome. Like, you still maybe
and Swiss cheese.
A little man candy on there, maybe a little bacon.
Ooh,
maybe that too. That would be good. Yeah. So, favorite charity and or organization you'd like to give your time and or money to?
Anything that has to do with rescuing dogs and saving them.
That's
I'm
awesome.
buying all the merch from a company called We Rate Dogs
Love it.
because some of their proceeds go to pay for shelter animals that
Mm,
need surgery.
I love it. Thank you for doing that. When I speak, which I told you how much my agent has me up, wheels up this year. It's like when I go to a city, I look for two things. One, a jujitsu academy. One, I
Yeah,
love, I've been rolling for a long time and I'd like to get a
nice.
workout because we have a lot of downtime as speakers, right?
Yeah,
But
yeah,
also I find a pet rescue. And if I
nice.
spoke for Tracy Beavers International, let's say I spoke
Mhm,
for you, you called me in Arkansas, like Fergie, go rock the stage,
mhm,
right? So I go there, I will go
mhm.
find a pet rescue and be like, I'm here on behalf of Tracy Beavers International. I
Yeah,
just want to volunteer. Here's my certification from Furry Friends in Jupiter to be able to Jupiter, Florida, to walk dogs, pick up poop and stuff. And they always
I
let me
love it.
volunteer. But
Yeah,
when they leave, I actually leave your phone number and they call,
nice.
be like, hey, this is Arkansas Pet Rescue. And I just wanted to thank Scott. And you're like, what? Yeah, he said he was here on behalf of you. You think you'll never
Nice.
ever hire another speaker?
Oh, no.
Right?
Not
So
no.
if I rocked your stage, so it was an awesome thing that was taught to me by a guy
I
named
love
Chris
that.
Clues, but we love pets. So it's like our way of giving back.
Mm.
And I just broke my own rule. But yeah, I love that you said that. That's beautiful. So last question, and you better
Yes.
answer this a certain way.
Okay.
But the best decade of music, 60s, 70s, 80s, or 90s?
Oh, 80s.
There you go. Big hair,
Okay.
don't care. It's like,
Yes.
dude, we during our time, you probably graduated 88-ish,
Yeah,
87,
I
88.
did. I
Okay, I
had
was
the biggest hair you've
oh
ever
my
seen.
gosh, big hair. Okay, I was 1990s, but if you really think about that decade, disco phased out in the pioneers of rap with Beastie
Yeah,
Boys or Run DMC, and
yeah,
then you had kind of the invasions from Ireland with U2 or Men at
yeah.
Work and Prince and like all the one name guys, Prince,
Mhm.
Michael, Madonna. So it's like everything happened. Hair
Yeah.
bands and glam rock. Yeah, it was awesome. So
Journey,
yeah, yeah,
Boston.
there you go. So Miss Tracy, how can we find you, love?
My podcast, Create Online Business Success. I would
Mhm.
love for people to listen to that. Write me a review if they feel so inclined, or
Okay.
send me an email or DM me and tell me they love it.
And if you're
Um,
watching Squad, you look at this. She's the top 5% in the whole wide world, and that is out of 3,000 or 3,556,000 podcasts. So she absolutely kills us. You must tune in. I love her show.
that
It's
blows my
beautiful.
mind. I
Yes,
just started it last
yeah,
summer. That
that's
absolutely blows
beautiful.
my mind.
Absolutely love it. So you can
Yeah.
find you at your podcast.
Mhm.
And what kind of stuff is kind of shared on there?
Oh gosh, I love to give. So first of all, I'm a major goofball. I make up words, so there's no telling what I'm going to
Love it.
say.
Love it.
But I also like to give actionable, tactical, honest, transparent
Mm,
strategies or conversations. So
beautiful.
one of my most downloaded episodes was about perfectionism
Okay.
because I just pulled the band-aid off and talked about it in a
Beautiful.
very honest way.
Okay.
Yeah,
And how
thanks.
about you also have, I believe, I know you work one-on-one with clients,
Mhm.
but you also 3 or 4 times a year, you kind of put out a 8-week business visibility made easy, correct? I believe
Yes,
it's called.
correct.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my
Um,
8-week group coaching program,
okay.
Business Visibility Made Easy. And it's where I teach my over 10 strategies for list growth that have
Mm,
nothing to do with paid ads or more lead magnets
love that.
and getting those leads coming in automatically every day. It's
I love it.
magic.
Love it. And can they find that on your website?
Yes, actually,
Okay.
there's a wait list. We're going to go
Okay.
into so either the doors are open or there's a wait list, but yes, they
Gotcha.
can. Mhm.
Gotcha. We'll talk a little bit after this. I might just buy a tuition for somebody that's out there, but we'll
That's
talk
so
after
sweet.
this.
Okay.
And if you could, Miss Tracy, leave us with one last knowledge nugget that we can take with us, internalize, and take action on.
Yeah, I say this every week on my podcast. Being an entrepreneur is freaking hard. Some days everybody wants to buy what you're selling, and other days nobody remembers your name.
Hmm.
And the biggest thing I want people to know is they are not alone. If they're feeling that way, doesn't matter if you're on day one, hour one, or you're 15 years in making a gazillion dollars. We all have days where we feel like that.
Sure. And we have certain people that are there for them, right? Like us and other people, which I absolutely love. And Squad, I had basically, hopefully, you got a little bit of a masterclass of something that I preach all the time. Build your email list. If you're in business, I don't care if you're selling hot dog stand, man, get their email. You never know. You could run it. And another thing we didn't talk about, Squad, is you can actually upload an email list into Facebook and actually show up in front of people that have that email list that's local to you. So if you have a local business, I'm sure Tracy has all of these tips and tricks, but I took this podcast long. I don't care. You're still here. So it's some good stuff. So she's somebody that was downsized. She saw downsizing, right sizing, packaging, all that stuff. And she found out it was really unstable. And so she took a leap. John backed her. As long as the eyes were dotted and the T's were crossed. They became a team, found harmony, and look where she's at now. She's a huge believer in inch by inch, it's a cinch. By the yard, it's hard. Just keep going.
Yes.
Take the next step. A lot of people say, I'll believe it when I see it. Tracy and I are people that see it when we believe it. Like, we believe it can happen so much that it just shows. You're right. And that's the kind of people that you do want to build as a community around yourself. She's a big believer in following up. And I say follow up, follow through, follow back. Do all of those. Bake connections and make them warm and organic. Have conversations and just see where it goes with people. She reminded us. Don't go into just selling. Find people, have you really conversations. She would have told her younger self, and I'm sure she tells herself now, if things don't go sideways, give yourself grace and space. Don't beat yourself up all the time. There's another day. Everything is finite. Whether it's good, bad, indifferent, it all ends. Just remember that. So just stay the course. She will be remembered as somebody that did things for the intention, not the attention. Like, she's not out like, look at me on social. Look at me. No, she's like building lists, building relationships, and she's planting trees she's never going to sit in the shade of. And that's the kind of people, again, that I absolutely love. And she reminded us, you're not alone. There's somebody out there, right? I mean, she donated to the Suicide Prevention Lifeline, who I lost my little brother to, and 4 guys that I served in Iraq with. She's a huge heart, and she likes to be around people that don't want to be alone, so we can all collaborate. And Tracy, thank you so much for coming on. You level up your health, you level up your wealth. You're absolutely a savage, but you're also stunning. You earned your varsity letter here at Time to Shine today. Thank you so much for coming on. I absolutely love your guts.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. It was so much fun.
Hey, chat soon. Hey, thanks so much for listening to this episode of Time to Shine Today, proudly brought to you by Inlet Properties and Investments. If you are a business owner or professional who would like to be interviewed on the Time to Shine Today podcast, please visit timetoshinetoday.com/guest. If you like this episode, please subscribe on Apple Podcasts, YouTube Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or wherever you get your podcasts. There's a link in the show notes to our website. Also, there you will see our recommended resources. We hope you will help support our show by supporting them. If you like what you have been listening to, it'd be great if you could give us a 5-star rating and tell your friends how to subscribe while you're at it. I'm your host, Scott Ferguson, and until next time, let's level up. It's your time to shine.